You are now tuning into a drop of melancholy. If you are in a good mood and wish to remain so, do not watch this video.
In the previous video, we discussed how humanity makes life difficult for each other whenever money is involved. So we discussed things like how humanity will take things away from you if you're unable to pay up. For example, if you don't pay your car note, they'll repossess your car. If you don't pay your power bill, your light bill, they'll turn your electricity off, and so forth. So for those of you that missed that video, check it out. Okay, it's called Humanity Makes Life Difficult for Each Other Whenever Money is Involved. This video is going to be a part 2 to that video. However, it's going to be a little different. We're not going to talk about bills and stuff like that because we already know how they are when you don't pay your bills. We're going to talk about how humanity makes life difficult in other aspects. For example, if you came up with a way to help humanity on a large scale, ultimately that will result in your downfall or something could happen to you. And I'm going to explain myself more in detail. And it's kind of funny we're talking about this because I just so happen to be parked in front of a money store. You see that? Money superstore? What a coincidence, huh? But anyway, so yeah, we're going to talk about how humanity makes life hard just in general. They'll make your life hell for trying to help other people out. Let's say you're the type of person that likes to play with Legos. You like to build Lego sets. You like to take apart electronics and see all the gizmos, see what makes them work. Or maybe you like to take apart electronics and modify them or something like that. Well, let's say you're playing with these electronics, you take them apart, you add your own parts, whatever, and somehow you discover how to use the low amounts of hydrogen in the atmosphere to produce an electrical current, an electrical charge. Let's say you figured out how to do that, but you scaled it up. Okay, you scaled up this electrical charge to where it could perhaps power your home. Let's say you figured out how to do that. And let's say you just so happen to make that public. Okay, you happen to share this on social media, this new technology that you developed. You shared it on social media saying you figured out how to power a home just using just the air that's outside. Now, let's also say you didn't show how to create this device. You just showed it on social media, the device itself, and how it's able to power your home. You didn't show anyone how to create it step by step. You're just pretty much showing it off and how it can power the house. By doing something like that, you just pretty much put yourself at a huge risk. Because you have to think, by creating something like that, you're messing with the cash flow at this point. Okay, so you create this technology that makes you completely independent of the power grid, and you're willing to share this technology. Okay, you're willing to spread this technology throughout your city, throughout your state, whatever. Okay, you're willing to share it with other people so that they could benefit from it. You just put yourself at a huge risk by doing that. And I'll venture to say the people at top, okay, the people that are the elites, as you guys call them, they're either going to off you or they're going to somehow steal that technology. And once they steal your technology, best believe they're never going to release that to the public. They're going to keep that for themselves. They're not going to, although it has the potential to help out the entire world, okay, the entire population around the world, they'll never release that to the public. They're going to either off you or steal your technology and keep it to themselves. And again, the reason for them doing that is because you're messing up the cash flow at that point. If this technology was to spread, then best believe no one wants to pay an electricity bill. Trust me, no one wants to do that. You much rather keep that $150 or $200 each month than buy something else with it. So as soon as you come out to the public and say you found out a way to use the low amounts of hydrogen in the atmosphere to pretty much power your home, you scaled it up where it can power a home, and you're willing to share this technology, everyone's going to hop on that. Everyone's going to want to do it. Okay, and like I said, as soon as the people at the top find out about that, they're going to have a problem with that. They're going to have a huge problem. If this technology is effective and it works flawlessly, where you don't need the power grid, you're completely independent of that, that's a huge problem. Okay, so that was one scenario. Them pretty much canceling you before you could spread that technology. Okay, so that was one scenario. So another thing that could happen, okay, scenario 2, they could offer you a large amount of money as a way to shut you up. So in other words, they will give you, let's say they just gave you $10 million, $15 million, something like that. Although your technology is really worth more than that, it would be worth more than $10 million. Let's say they just offer you that, because most people are going to take the $10 million, trust me. If they hear 10 million, let's say they're not used to having money, if they just offer them 10 million for that technology, most people would take it. But anyway, let's say they offer this person a large amount of money just to shut that person up. Okay, so that person have to keep their lips zipped. They can't talk about this technology. And what the people are going to want in return are those blueprints, or they're going to want to know how you made it. So that's pretty much like scenario 2. They'll pretty much buy you out. Okay, they're going to offer you money as a way to shut you up, and it's a done deal. And then from that point on, they're just going to have your blueprints, if you created blueprints, or they're going to want to know how you develop this technology. So if they don't offer you first, then they'll probably just buy you out by offering you a large amount of money to shut you up, so you don't run your mouth and share with the public how they could benefit from this technology and how they could free themselves from the power grid. Okay, now here's another scenario. Scenario 3. They could just outright steal your technology. Okay, so let's say you went on social media, you started running your mouth about this technology you developed. They could just raid your home and steal it outright. And even if you don't have blueprints, that's fine if you don't have it, because once they steal your technology, they can always reverse engineer it. Okay, so they'll reverse engineer your technology and pretty much figured out how you developed it in the first place. So once again, the government will know how to build and reap the benefits of this device, but it will never be shared with the public, because doing so, a lot of money will be lost. Okay, so they stole your technology. They know how to build it. They know what it's capable of doing. They know they can benefit from it. But again, it will never be released to the general populace. It just wouldn't. It wouldn't. Okay, for obvious reasons, which I already talked about. A lot of money would be lost. Okay, and they can't have that. A lot of money would be lost. So that was the third scenario. All right. The fourth scenario, let's say if, again, you got on social media, you started running your mouth about this thing you came up with that could generate its own power. They would probably just make it illegal for people to build. Okay, so although it doesn't harm the environment, it uses just the natural elements. They'll make it illegal to build, just so people don't generate their own power. They still got to rely on the power grid. And yes, they could do that. They would do things like that to prevent this from happening. And yes, they would probably still come after you and still probably try to offer you money for it, but they would still make it illegal for people to build. Now, let's keep this in mind. This technology that you developed, let's say you didn't want, okay, we're talking about the people. We're not talking about the elites or whatever. We're talking about just regular people. Let's say you didn't want to sell this. You just wanted to genuinely help people out. Okay, you genuinely wanted to share how to build this device so everyone could benefit from it. You didn't want to get paid. You just wanted to help people out from the kindness of your heart. So what you do, you share the blueprints on social media, how to build this device. Okay, you tell people what components you need. Let's say, for example, this device might cost a total of $200. Just $200 worth of components that could be purchased at Walmart or Home Depot. So $200, that's not a lot of money, but just think, it's going to pay for itself over and over again, because you're no longer paying a power bill. You're generating your own power. So let's say within your city, okay, everyone in your city finds out about it. They see how effective it is. The rest of the state finds out about it, and it just spreads from there. Everyone see how effective this technology is. It continues to spread. Okay, people go to Home Depot, they go to Walmart, purchase the components to build this device. Okay, and it just keeps going on and on from there. You just made pretty much most of the population completely free of the power grid, that would be a huge problem for these elites. Okay, that would be a huge problem. Huge problem. All right? And more people are catching on, and more people are building your device. What they would do is they would make these components. Okay, so the components that's needed to build it, they would either raise the price so it's difficult to purchase, or they would just take them off the shelves altogether to stop people from building it. Or like I said before, they would just make it illegal to build. Because you gotta think, you just made pretty much most of the population completely independent of the power grid. You put your local power company out of business pretty much with this technology you came up with. They're not going to be making this no more. And again, that's a huge problem, because this all boils down to money. They don't want people to be helped out like that. They want people to keep spending. Okay, so although you want to help people out by sharing this technology you developed, no, the people at the top, they don't want that. So again, this is yet another example of how humanity makes life difficult for each other. Because although you came up with this technology that can help people out, that can save people a lot of money, no, they can't have that. Okay, I mean the people at the top, they don't want that. They're going to keep life difficult for people. So if they got to keep spending money for power each month, then that's what's going to happen. And I told you that there could be more scenarios as to what could happen, but I just went over the scenarios that I think could happen, because there's been people in the past that came up with technology like this. There was a guy that came up with an engine that could be powered by using water, and something happened to him. He just disappeared. So things like that. Okay, when you come up with stuff like this that could disrupt their cash flow, you're putting yourself at risk, because they don't want this to get out. They don't want people to catch on to this, because again, it all boils down to money. By you doing that, you're going to fuck up their money. So to prevent that from happening, they're either going to off you, or they're going to offer you some amount of money to shut you the hell up, or they're just going to steal your technology or whatever. Okay, something like that's going to happen. But either way, they're not going to allow this technology to get out. They're not going to allow it to spread. So again, humanity makes life difficult for each other. All right. And like I said, yeah, they could definitely attempt to off you, or not attempt, they would off you. All right, before you could run your mouth and make it well known. So yeah, it's humanity that's doing this to you. Okay, I understand it's not all of the population. It's just a few people that's making this happen, that's trying to threaten your life because of this. But it's still humanity. Okay, it's not the bears, it's not the lions, it's not the tigers. No, it's your own species that's trying to kill you because of this. Okay, because you want to help out others. You genuinely want to help out other people. No, you got members of your own species that don't want that to happen, and they'll try to cancel you because of it. You see what I mean? So that's what I mean when I say humanity makes life difficult for each other. Okay, there's plenty of ways where we can help each other out and make this existence much easier for people. But no, humanity doesn't want that. So just imagine you personally, how much money you would save if you had this technology. Hundreds, perhaps thousands of dollars per year. Okay, I know people's power bill varies, but just imagine how much money you would save each year by using the natural elements, by not having to pay a power bill. Now imagine this on a statewide scale. Okay, imagine the whole state not paying a power bill. Those people would be out of so much money, it's not even funny. Okay, they wouldn't be laughing at that. They would be very pissed off at you for coming up with this technology. Okay, so that's why I say it's a huge risk to get out and make this public. Let's say if I had a kid and my kid came up with something like this, I would tell him, I'd be like, hey, keep this to yourself. Don't share this with no one. Don't go to school. Don't tell your classmates about this. Just keep it to yourself. Okay, because as soon as you start talking about this, it's going to be a huge problem. You're going to bring a lot of unwanted attention to yourself, and you're placing yourself in harm's way. So I would tell my kid that if he came up with something like this, I would tell him not to share it publicly. Just shut up about it. Okay, because it's really sad, because although you want to help people, you really can't. Okay, because something might happen to you as a result. So it goes without saying that humanity really can't be saved. Although you might have good intentions and you mean well, humanity can't really be saved, and they don't want it to be saved. You see? And that's just one example. It don't just have to be like becoming independent of the power grid. It can be anything. It'd be like finding a cure for cancer. Okay, let's say we got all these sick people. Let's say you accidentally discover a cure for cancer. That would be a huge problem too. A huge problem. All right, I know how that sounds, but you gotta think, so many people are sick, so many people have to pay so much money to get treatment. That's what I'm trying to say. The people at the top, they see it as far more lucrative, okay, far more lucrative to keep everyone sick rather than curing all these people. Okay, so if you accidentally discover a cure for cancer and all this stuff, yeah, that would pretty much put you in the same situation as what we talked about before with the power. Okay, they don't want a cure for cancer. They want to keep people sick because, like I said, it's more money. This all boils down to money. Okay, that's all it is. Look what it says right there. The money superstore. Okay. All right, it all boils down to money. That's what this is all about. Yeah, and it's sad. That's how humanity is. All right, it's fucked up. It really is. Because if you genuinely want to help people, okay, you see these little children with cancer, you see these people suffering, and you genuinely want to help people out, you're putting yourself in harm's way, okay? Because it has to do with money, because you're fucking up someone's cash flow, okay? Now they see you as a threat, so they'll probably just take you out. So yeah, it's a lot of ways that humanity makes life difficult, and those are another few examples how. All right, they really do make life difficult for each other. Me personally, I would never want my children to participate in such a society. Never in 1,000 years. You can't even help people out on a large scale without worrying about your own life. You can't. I don't want my kid to participate in a society like that. Okay, and this species is just fucked. Okay, all the way around. It's just, yeah. It doesn't have nothing to do about race or ethnic background. It's the entire species. Okay, I just told you what would happen. It's all about money. That's all this species care about. They don't want you helping each other out. Although you can help people out on a huge scale. Okay, just think about all these children that got cancer, or not just children, just people in general that got cancer. You found a way to cure it. They're gonna have a problem with that. Yeah. So what can you say? I mean, if that's not making life difficult, then I don't know what it is. That's exactly what they're doing. They're making life difficult. And again, it's not everybody. It's just a few people at the top that's doing this, but that's still your species, ain't it? Okay, it's still humans that's doing that. So that's how you gotta look at it. And it's really sad. But yes, this right here, this is the downfall of this species. If it wasn't for this, you would be able to help people out genuinely and not have to worry about anything happening to you. Okay, but this species value a piece of paper more than a human life. I mean, how else can you say it? They value a piece of useless paper more than human lives. I just told you how. All right, you come up with things like this, yeah, it's messing up their cash flow. They don't want that. They want to keep getting this at the expense of other people's suffering. Yeah. So again, if you come up with something like that, I know it's a very slim chance, but I'm just saying, in a one-off chance that you come up with something like that, okay, something that could help humanity on a large scale, it's best just to keep it to yourself. I know that sounds selfish, but by being selfish, you're protecting yourself. That's how you have to look at it. It's not that you deliberately want to be selfish. You're just looking out for yourself because you know what could possibly happen to you if you made this public. So in that sense, I guess it's best just to be selfish. to ensure your own safety and survival. Yeah, I know it's screwed up, but that's just how it is. And it's such a shame that that's how this species is. So if a scenario like that don't make somebody an anti-nihilist, I don't know what will. I don't know what will. Because like I said, I don't want my kid participating in a society like that. So for example, you already know how that goes. Parents want to brag about their children's career, their occupation, how much income they make, stuff like that. You know how they are. They always bragging. But if they came up with something like this that could cure cancer or could help people on a large scale, that would be a huge problem for the people at top. The people at the top, that would be a huge problem. Okay, so although their kid went above and beyond, they created this technology or they created this cure, that would be a huge problem. That's just the only way to say it. So I don't want my kid in a society like that. I just don't. So that's another reason to be an anti-nihilist, because this is a terrible species. All right, terrible. And I just told you how. So yeah, but that's all I gotta say on that. Let me know what you guys think. I know y'all got something to say about this. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Embrace your inner darkness. Y'all be easy.